Welcome back, everyone, to Catherine's Plates, where it's simply delicious. I'm going to take one of my favorites. It's an old recipe of mine called spaghetti chicken bake, and we are going to turn this into freezer meals. I'm going to use small pans right here. This will be for my children, Joseph and Rihanna, who moved out of our house over a year ago, got their own place, and they share the rent and everything. They have a roommate helping with that also. So, oh, y'all, they need some food. And I tried to make something big, and then Thomas and I will eat a little portion of it and then give them the rest. But I'm going to try to put these into freezer size containers here. These are 8x8s. But this whole recipe can be fit into a 9x13 if you want to make the whole thing in one container. All right, you guys, chicken spaghetti bake is so easy. The first thing we're going to do is cook up the spaghetti. I have 16 ounces of just regular spaghetti. Now, I put my lid onto my pot of water to bring it to a boil faster. And then we'll just get this ready. Now, I like to salt my water, give the spaghetti a nice flavor. About half a tablespoon. Now, Rihanna uses my cookbooks a lot over there, which makes me happy. But we try to help them because, you know, groceries are very expensive, and I think they're getting more expensive. All right, so we're going to put this in. And we'll stir that around for about 1 minute. We'll keep it from sticking. We're going to cook this until al dente because it will finish cooking in the oven. Okay, this will cook for about 11 to 12 minutes, and then we'll drain it completely. Make sure you stir it every so often. That way you don't have big clumps of spaghetti. Now, generally bakes or casseroles are full meals, so we got to get some veggies in there for the kids, right? Because they probably won't eat this with a veggie. So I've got a red bell pepper because it'll give it some color. And you can also use the roasted red bell peppers in the jar, which will give it more flavor. But I had this on hand. So I just took off the 4 sides. I've already washed the peppers. And we'll just dice them up. Very small because they're going to cook in the oven. I'm not going to saute these down. This is a surprise for them. And they'll be super happy. Because once I make it, cool it down, and get it into the containers, Thomas and I will take it over to them and drop it off. As we have a few errands to run, we can do that. All right, that's the red one. I'm going to do the green one, and we're also going to dice up a yellow onion. The more stuff you put in it, the more it bulks it up, and you can get more out of it. That's my philosophy. And if you're asking, this is not low carb. This is a freezer meal for our kids. All right, we're going to do the green one. Keep an eye on your spaghetti and make sure you stir it every so often. Bell peppers will give it a nice color and some nutrients in there. They won't even know. Well, they'll know, but they won't know. All right, we're going to do the yellow onion. Now, what's great about this recipe is the only thing we're cooking is the spaghetti. And we'll put it all together, and it goes right into the oven. Love that. This is such a simple recipe. Just chop up some vegetables. And what's also great is you can get vegetables already chopped up in your store if you want to do that. So I'm just taking the ends off of the onion, peeled off the outer layer, and made slices into the onion, cut through the slices to make dices. That's all you need. All right, we're going to add this to a large mixing bowl. Now the next ingredient that we're going to get ready is our chicken. Whew, this one just falls right apart. I'm going to chop this up and get all the meat off of it. Now this is a mesquite roasted rotisserie chicken. It's got great flavor, and that's what you're kind of looking for. But you want a full, like 3 cups of fully cooked chicken for this recipe, and you want to make sure that it's nice and flavored. That's where a lot of the flavor is going to come from for this chicken spaghetti bake. So if you want to bake your own chicken, if you want to boil your chicken, roast your chicken, if you have leftover chicken from anything that you've made, you can pull it apart, shred it up, and that'll work just fine. You just want to make sure that it's full of flavor. All right, now I'm just going to chop it up. I'm going to chop it up nice and small. That way it'll disperse nice and evenly all over the chicken spaghetti bake. And every bite will get some chicken. That's what we're looking for. All right, once you get it all chopped up, we're going to add it to our onions and peppers in the large mixing bowl. We're going to add in 2 cans of cream of soup. Now, I'm going to be using a cream of chicken and a cream of celery. Those sound really good. You can even use a cream of mushroom if you want to do that. So as long as you have 2 cans, and these are the 10.5 ounce size cans, so you can mix and match whatever you want to do. If you want to do 2 mushrooms, 2 celeries, or 2 chickens, it's whatever you want to do. Whew, that smells good. Into the bowl. There we go. All right, we're going to grate sharp cheddar cheese, 8 ounces. Now this is going to be divided because we're going to put half of it in here and then save the other half for the topping. And I'm going to grate it fresh. Yeah, nothing like fresh grated cheese. Now you can use sharp cheddar cheese, mild or medium cheddar cheese. You can use Monterey Jack cheese if you want to do that. Change up the flavor profile just a little bit. There we go. All right, so remember, this was 8 ounces. We're going to put half of that into our bowl. So save the other half. And that should be enough right there. All right, we're going to add 8 ounces of sour cream. Now, my recipe does call for 1.5 cups, but I didn't realize that when I was getting sour cream. So I only got the 8 ounces, but that would be totally fine. There we go. And we're going to season this up. Got to give it a lot of flavor. We got some paprika because it's going to give it a nice pop of color, a little smokiness to it. Give it some flavor. Got some garlic powder. I'm going to put it right across the top and then come back. About half a teaspoon. Onion powder, about half a teaspoon. Cracked black pepper, or just a 1/4 teaspoon of regular black pepper that's ground. All right, let's kind of mix this all together and we'll see what we got. Nice creaminess. My dog Bailey is giving us some music down there. Drinking water. All right, let's give this a taste. I think I just did it off my finger there. That's good. It does need a little salt, so I'm cracking some salt. That's why I added it kind of last to the mixture. You need to determine how much of that you want to put in there. That's good. That's delicious. All right, we're going to get some tongs. All right. And we're going to add in the spaghetti, and then we're going to mix it all together with our tongs until it's well coated. There we go. Whew. That is a bowl full. Make sure you have the largest bowl that you can find. All right, got my pumpkins out. It's fall time, right? Now I think since I'm going to be putting this in different containers, smaller containers, I'm going to get a knife. Yeah, I am. And I'm going to cut the spaghetti down. Be easier, right? Now this is optional. I think it might be easier to mix and put into the different containers. Okay, you guys, doesn't that look good? I like the orange from the cheese, the green peppers, the red peppers. I can see the onions in there. Let's go ahead and start putting this into our containers. I've got 3 8x8s, or you can use the 9x11. That's totally fine. And what we're going to do is spray it with some nonstick cooking spray. And then we're going to evenly place our spaghetti mixture into each pan. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to even them out. My oven's ready. Pack it down. So you can cut these in squares for your meal. So no doubt that Joseph will feed Megan when she comes over, and Rihanna will feed Chris. And that will give them lots of meals right here. Don't forget the cheese on top. Joseph will be unhappy. So we're going to take the remainder of that cheese, which is probably about 4 ounces of the shredded, and we're going to sprinkle it on top. Just like that. Remember, we already got the cheese on the inside. I've got my oven preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to bake these for about 40-45 minutes till they're heated through. That cheese is nice and melted on top. All right, here they are. I'm going to cool them down. We're going to cover them with foil, take them over to the kids. That way they can put them in their freezer. One will probably sit out and they'll just eat that one. I'm going to take a bite though, so I'm going to be stealing some to give it a try for you. Thomas had one stain. It'll probably be this one right here.
No, that one's going.
That one's going. Oh, we're going to get the one that's completely full. Look at that, you guys. Doesn't that look creamy and delicious? It's got that cheese on top. All right, I'm gonna get that pepper right there. There's my bite. We're definitely keeping one. It's okay. I'll be making them something else soon enough. All right, you guys, that is creamy. I love that chicken. It's nice and tender in there. The flavor's in there. That sour cream mellows it out too. That's delicious. All right, you guys, give me a thumbs up on this one, my baked chicken spaghetti freezer meal, or you can just put it all in a 9x13 and feed your whole family with it. All right, I'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.